How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I would like to go over iconic slash classic horror films that are on the 4K formats. If you're asking me, Frank, what the hell defines as an iconic horror film? Um, I don't know. Everyone has a different definition of what's iconic, what's a classic. In this video, it's going to be films that were released um, prior to 1990, and all these films that I'm showing are highly regarded and within the horror community. I love talking about horror. I've said it in multiple videos in the past that it's my favorite genre. It's how I just became a film enthusiast, and most of my collection, or at least a good chunk of my collection, or is horror films, and I just I just love horror. I think it's the best genre. Yeah, I love it. So, the first movie I will bring out is The Exorcist. The Exorcist. This release was from last year by Warner Brothers, and this is the Steelbook. This has both the extended and theatrical versions, and for the most part, this 4K is fantastic. Actually, the beginning of the film, you're just wowed by how beautiful the desert looks, the close-ups of people's faces, the detailed, the clarity looks very good. Um, Towards the end, the quality kind of dips a little bit when they're doing like the main exorcism, um, which is very unfortunate. It's just a couple scenes, but it is noticeable. Another release that was um, over in the UK only is the Exorcist Deluxe Holy Bible Edition. I was very fortunate to get this edition. There was only 2,000 released. I did an unboxing in one of my earlier videos. Um, it's probably one of my pride and joys, my little babies of my collection. Um, this sold like hotcakes just instantly. This got sold out, but as you can see, that their 4K Steelbook was a lot better than the US. And again, I don't know why this release had this version. Even like the slipcover for the standard Exorcist was, I thought it was pretty terrible design. But as far as the transfer, overall, it looked pretty good. And, it's a must own if you're a horror fan, to have it in your collection. No matter what edition you have, doesn't matter if it's Steelbook, doesn't matter if it's a standard slipcover, it's a must own movie. Again, this channel, I talk about physical media, but really important to talk about the love of movies as well, not just physical media. You know, Movies is why we became physical media collectors. The next movie is Psycho. This was released by Arrow last year. Fantastic limited edition release. Anthony Perkins as Norman is just so iconic. The character, Alfred Hitchcock, his films are so good. The cinematography is gorgeous. The 4K transfer on this is beautiful, and the ending, especially for that time, it's just a twist. This is the film that made horror, slasher films what they are, because this is a fantastic slow burn. It's great storytelling, great acting, and if you don't have Psycho, get it in your sets, in your collection. Next is Dawn of the Dead. When I first saw this film, I was shocked. I was wowed of how great this transfer was by Second Sight Films. Um, I think it's the first. Um, you know what? I think this might have been my first Second Sight film that I watched, and I was hooked on that boutique label. Um, this film is a masterpiece. George Romero and Lucio Fulci, just amazing combo of directors, writers. This cinematography. There's so many iconic scenes in this film. This release is, I don't know, maybe top five. I mean, it's in this video for a reason, but this release is just gorgeous. I mean, this is all just for the film. There's like four different cuts and everything. I did an unboxing of this in one of my earlier videos as well. But dang, this movie looked great. Even with the film quality, the restoration that Second Sight did to this film, it's like seeing it for the first time again. It really is. Um, I highly recommend getting this. You can get it on eBay or Amazon. I got mine originally on Amazon. It was like the smaller edition. It was like in black and red. Still for disc, but it didn't have a lot of the limited editions. I basically double dipped and I sold my previous copy, and got this one. But this is a fantastic zombie movie. Just incredible 4K transfer. Wow. Speaking of zombie movies, this is the one that pretty much started it all, and that's Night of the Living Dead. Um, and this transfer by Criterion is very good. I forgot the brutal ending to this film. It's very good. But that ending, jeez, man, that was like a little part of me just like sunk. I was so hurt after watching that film, and just the last 15 20 minutes is so intense. People think that a lot of the classic older films, they're just kind of slow movies, but this storyline is so good, and the ending, Psycho, Night of the Living Dead, the endings to those films are just so memorable. And that's why people love them so much, because of the storytelling and how the movie ends and how well the acting is. Um, and of course, they did pretty good job with the prosthetics and the effects for this film for the budget, the very very low budget that they had in this film. But it is a great damn film. So, Night of the Living Dead. Next is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is done by Second Sight Films, and this is a fantastic release. I'm not going to go too much into an unboxing of this, but this transfer, you know what? Some people don't like this transfer just because of how clean and how detailed this film is. I really like it. Some people just prefer the gritty filmic look to it, and for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I definitely can see why. I still prefer this one. So the picture quality for Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the Second Sight film, very detailed transfer, super crisp. I mean, it's freaking extra crispy. Uh, so very clean transfer. As I mentioned earlier, some people prefer not to have it look so clean, but this looked so good. And just the outside scenery, the blood, the close-ups, the sweat. I mean, it feels like you're in Texas, man. Uh, Wonderful transfer. Both transfers, from Turbine slash Dark Sky and um, Second Sight. I also had a release. I had this release. This is a Turbine release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K. Um, Here's this one, and this I've had this for a few years. This release was only in Germany, and I this was a great release too. This release, it's in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. There's so many audio choices. There's a DTS Master, Mono, 1.0 and 2.0, and then there's a Euro, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's 3.1, and that's a great mix too. This was also, there's another edition that was released last year from Dark Skies. It's the exact same transfer as this one, just released in the stateside, and there's the iconic Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster. It's right over here, and it's Leatherface. I mean, come on now. This movie scared the crap out of me when I was younger. Watching the movie now, it scared the crap out of me when I was younger. Watching it now, it's really not that bloody. It's more mental, and what the viewer's imagination is, on some of those iconic kills and everything. So the imagery for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a masterpiece. I mean, it's so damn good. One of the all-time classic films, and that is, I'm going to go with Dracula and Frankenstein. Frankenstein, to me, is the best classic horror film I've seen. It is so good. The acting, the storyline, it's also another sad film, but it is. I mean, you really feel what the character, the monster, what he goes through. From the beginning when he's revived, to what happens to him later on. The mistakes that he does through his short journey, and I think Frankenstein is a masterpiece. Also, Dracula, Bela Lugosi is fantastic as Dracula, but for me, it's Frankenstein. I think Frankenstein's a better story. The music by Philip Glass and performed by Kronos Quartet is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, which is also in this film as well. The 4K restoration in both of these films and all of these films are very good. I mean, these films were at 1930, 31, and 31 as well, actually. So I thought this film was the following year. Anyway, the Universal did an amazing job on the 4K restoration on both of these films, and I can't state enough how good black and white looks on the 4K format. Just very clean. But there's not hardly any pops. As you see from older black and white films. Just a beautiful transfer of Frankenstein and Dracula. Highly recommend it. Whenever this is on sale, definitely get this set. You're probably like, Frank, where the hell's the thing? Bam! There's the thing. um, yeah. What can I say? What hasn't been said about this film is, John Carpenter. This is my favorite. I always go between The Thing and Halloween, as far as story and as far as acting. This, those are just masterpiece films. Um, which, oh, why the hell not? I'm gonna do a little combo of Halloween and The Thing first. Dang, the special effects, the practical effects, it looks so good on the 4K format. That's one thing that I love about older film is that they didn't rely too much or hardly at all on special effects, and it all went to practical effects and what they could do in real life. They didn't really rely too much on the computer, and it shows with 4K transfers. And damn, there's so many great scenes in this film, and they all look so good. They they look fantastic. This movie also has DTSX, and that sounded really good too. Yeah, beginning of the scene, the helicopter, and and just the immersive sounds of the creature later on in the movie, or creatures. But this movie is so suspenseful, man, so dang good. I love this film. This film for me is a top three horror film. Again, I go between Halloween and The Thing, uh, for John Carpenter, my favorite John Carpenter film. So I think today I'm gonna go with The Thing. But who knows, man? Maybe tomorrow I might go with Halloween. But The Thing, fantastic. And since I already brought it up, Halloween. This was released by Scream Factory. This is the superior 4K release of the film. Scream Factory just knocked it out of the park with this release. Hard case shell, and it's in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. They did that for the first 6 films of Halloween. I really wish they did it with the remaining 3, but they didn't. Oh well. But this film looks so good. Lionsgate did was it back in 2018, 2019? I don't know. I'll have it here somewhere. When they released that film, and it looked good. I had that, and because I'm a horror fan, and I needed to have Halloween in my collection, and this film is just so much better. The restoration is much better than the Lionsgate film, and I highly recommend people get the Scream Factory release of Halloween. Great detail. The colors look much better in this film. It just feels more fall, where it takes place, the setting and everything. And so I highly recommend this release as well. Next is The Wicker Man. This film was released last year by Studio Canal, and this is one of my favorite releases, collection pieces that I have in my collection. It is so damn special, man. This was only released in the UK. I mean, it pops out. Look at that, man. It's so freaking cool. I bought this on a Bind Buy. I didn't even see the movie, but I know how well regarded this film is. And you know, Midsummer, um, Midsummer is you know very similar to this film. If not, it's kind of not a copycat, but pretty close. Uh, Good movie too, but this release is just amazing. It was later released um, in by Lionsgate, which has a slipcover it's a steelbook slipcover and everything, which I need to get because I have a lot of the 4K steelbook slipcovers. But this set is just amazing. It also came out with a nice Studio Canal 4K steelbook, which it's a very vibrant steelbook. I don't have that one, just this limited edition one as well. This has so this has the final cut, theatrical cut, and director's cut. All of it is in 4K. Um, I saw this on the final cut, and for the most part, it looks good. It's not going to look spectacular, especially when they kind of add in some of those additional scenes. But the final cut is an amazing release. This movie is just so good, man. Oh my god. I loved this film. And Christopher Lee, that cult leader, jeez, man. And what the crazy town people, the whole cult, what they do and everything. And that poor damn cop. I love this film. I saw this last year, right when it came out. This release came out, and I was hooked. I loved this film. This is one of my favorite films as well, and it's a masterpiece. I fucking love The Wicker Man. Great stories, great storyline. The ending is phenomenal. And, just the picture quality is good. But this movie, I cherish it. This is one of my prized possessions in my collection. I love The Wicker Man. That's one of the things, super quick, is why I really like kind of blind buying, is just for moments like that. It's just, never saw the movie. I heard that it was really good, and I just bought it. And now it's one of my favorite films, and that limited edition is one of my favorites of my entire collection. It's so damn good. The next film is The Shining. This is just a standard edition. I don't have the steelbook or any other edition. But this is referenced. I mean, The Thing, The Shining, those are reference quality horror 4K transfers. I fucking love this transfer. I love this movie. This movie was shot here in Oregon, and I love this movie. I love it. Next video. Yeah, spoiler alert. Doctor Sleep is one of my favorite modern horror films. Ugh, that is so damn good. But we're talking about this one, The Shining. Obviously, Jack Nicholson is iconic as Jack, and Shelley Duvall is very good, and the boy Danny, with his those creepy scenes throughout the movie, and the little voice that that he has. It's fantastic, and they're so, yeah. I feel like I repeat myself sometimes, but I can't help it, man. Iconic cinematography in this film. In the beginning of the film, in the 4K transfer, when It's when you see, when you're kind of flying through the scenery of Colorado, the beautiful trees and the water, the road. Pff, holy shit, man. It looks so good. In my opinion, The Shining is I think it's the top three, maybe the best horror 4K transfer. I think it's much better than The Thing. I'm trying to go through my damn list right there. Suspiria is very close to this as well. Spoiler alert, that's going to be on here. But I love The Shining. I watch it every year that I can, especially since I got this a few years ago when it was first released. And it is breathtaking. It just wowed me of how beautiful it looked. It's like you could almost like reach out. Again, the beginning of the scene just of the movie just blows you away, and it just feels like you are flying through through that area, man. And it it looks so good. I can't state it enough. This is probably my favorite 4K transfer. Um, of all the films that I recommend, I think this is definitely number one. Must buy The Shining. Since I just brought it up, Suspiria. Suspiria, Dario Argento. Holy cow, man. This was my first Dario film that I saw. And I am so happy that this was my first movie that I saw out of his entire filmography. And we're very thankful as horror enthusiasts, horror fans, that there is a number of 4K films. There are a number of Dario films that are on the 4K format. I think I just said 4K. I meant 4K. Did I? I don't know. You're gonna have to rewind. Dario films that are on the 4K format. Rewind that one. I'm gonna keep that on the video. This is so weird. Anyway, this 4K transfer is as I just went over The Shining, right? The Shining, my favorite. This is like, I mean, like 1A, 1B. The colors are so vibrant. Oh my god. It looks so good. I can't state it enough of how beautiful this movie looks in 4K. Um and Synops did the 4K transfer. They also did Phenomena and Tenebrae, which I also have. At Tenebrae and Phenomena. But Suspiria, amazing 4K transfer by Synops. And highly recommend getting Suspiria and Tenebrae and Phenomena. Amazing releases. This is in audio Dolby Atmos. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Apparently, this film is also in Dolby Atmos. I don't know how in the hell I forgot about that, but I did. So it's a perfect combination. Get this film. Again, Suspiria, The Shining, must buys. The movie that scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid. When I saw it with my dad. Oh man, I freaking had nightmares. And that is An American Werewolf in London. This is a limited edition release from Arrow, and I love this movie. This has the best transformation of any creature, any, werewolf, anything. in cinema history. I'm just gonna say it. It is so memorable, and all I remember when I was a kid is fucking being scared of that transformation and being scared of old classic songs like Blue Moon, Sam Cooke's Blue Moon, Bad Moon Rising. I mean, that's one of the things that isn't kind of that maybe some people forget is how good a soundtrack, how good a score can be to a film. And I remember that too with Halloween 2, Mr. Sandman at the end of the damn movie. Um, those that music and just the atmosphere. Oh my god, man! I honestly want to see this movie after uh, you know after recording this video. This movie is amazing. The 4K transfer looked very good, um, and it's one of my favorite 4K transfers and releases by Arrow Video. Highly recommend it, man. I love this film. I love it so much. One of my favorite, I just said it, but this is one of the first horror movies that I can remember as a kid. Nightmare on Elm Street was my first one that I could remember. The Entity, An American Werewolf in London. I mean, us 80s kids were had some good nightmares, great movies back in the day. So love this movie. Will always hold a special place in my heart. So fantastic movie. Next is Jaws. I consider it a horror classic, and it is one of the best 4K transfers. It is up there with The Shining, Suspiria. Jaws is up there as well. Probably top three, and I think I would go in that order as well. This has, I don't know if you can still get this cover, but it's pretty damn cool. I, much other people, other content creators can explain, the movie and how wonderful the technical aspect. I mean, just everything. I just know for me, when I saw this movie, the first time as a kid seeing this film, just like everyone else, I was fucking afraid of the water and sharks after seeing this film. Later on, when I was an adult, I appreciated what Spielberg did as a director, the cinematography, the writing, the atmosphere that he has, the character design. Oh, man, the monologue by Captain Quint. Oh my god, man! This is my annual watch every 4th of July. My wife and I see a bunch of, July 4th, patriotic films. And I always sneak this in because, one, I'm a horror fan. I need to fucking see this film every year. But it's a perfect summer film. But and obviously it takes place, during 4th of July. But every single time that I watch this film, I am just wowed. And that's what I get with The Shining, Suspiria, 2001 Space Odyssey. Just breathtaking 4K transfers that it really feels like you're there. Within the movie, you're there, seeing it for the first time. I love that experience, and that's part of the reason why I am a 4K collector. It's because of experiences like Jaws, The Shining, Suspiria, 2001 Space Odyssey, etc. Those type of 4K transfers and movies like this too, just so good. The close-ups of Jaws, the shark, the close-ups of the characters, the zooming in. I mean, it just the scenery, the in the beginning of the film, throughout, obviously, it's just so good how crisp and beautiful the water looks. Man, um, Jaws 2 was released last year too on 4K, and that was pretty good. I think that if I remember right, this looks slightly better. Maybe it's because I preferred the original Jaws. Had fun, very fun time watching Jaws 2. So don't get me wrong. It's just not a masterpiece like the original Jaws. The film that made me want to do this video, and that is the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I, right off the bat, want to. I owe this movie an apology. I had this movie for a very long time, um, and I just didn't watch it. And I watched it for the first time. I think I had this movie for a year and a half, maybe a couple years, um, and I was just amazed. I watched this last night, and I was just hooked, man. This movie is so good. Obviously, it's a remake from the 1951, and I think this is a masterpiece. The remake is so good. There's so many stars in this film. Donald Sutherland. I mean, cameos by Robert Duvall, there's Jerry Garcia, uh, uh, Jeff Goldblum. I mean, there's so many great actors. Leonard Nimoy. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen this film, but Leonard Nimoy is very good in this film. Brooke Adams, Veronica Cartwright. Veronica Cartwright is going to be in my next movie, and she did those movies. First was the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then, bam, it was Alien. So back to back years. But yeah, it's so the acting in this is fantastic, and then the prosthetic effects. Holy shit, man! When Donald Sutherland is sleeping in that garden, and you see the plant creature, starting to get him, and then obviously what transpires after that. Oh my god. I was in suspense, man. I just couldn't look away from watching this film. This film, like I said, is a masterpiece. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Kino did a fantastic 4K transfer just recently as well. Arrow Video did a limited edition. I think that it was released last month, if I'm not mistaken. Either it was February, early February, or it was in January. And um, I'm gonna double dip. I'm going to get that limited edition. I loved it. I think that's one of the things too. When you love a movie so much, you want to get the best quality. At least I do, and I want to get the best edition. I mean, I have a pretty cool. Candyman's my favorite movie. I already had Scream Factory's 4K transfer, but then Arrow Video, came out with a limited edition, and you damn right I got that limited edition. And Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I'm going to get that limited edition. I love this film so much. Amazing film. Amazing. Speaking of amazing, Alien. Alien. Man. The 4K transfer is out of this world. The dark scenes look very good. The close-ups, the sweat. It's just Ridley Scott. I think it's my favorite film from Ridley Scott. So suspenseful. The creature design, the oh shit moments. I watched this just the other day. and some of the scares still get you. You know, the jump scares. At least it got my ass. And I love this film. And it doesn't advertise it. Checking the back of the box really quick, but there's the director's cut on this film, and it's in the audio section. Highly recommend Alien. Aliens is coming out in a few weeks, FYI. March 12th, I believe. Next is Phantasm. Boy, this film is only released in the UK, or sorry, in Germany, but I had to show it in this video. I love Phantasm. Saw it with my dad. Scared the bejesus out of me. Very, very intimidating. You know, the tall man, very intimidating. 4K transfer by Playon looks good, man. Again, some of these older films can kind of look rough, but not with Dawn of the Dead, not with Phantasm. And I was very satisfied with this edition and, just the release, 4K transfer. I highly recommend getting this film. Audio is just 5.1, but it looked and sounded very good. Very, if you can get, I got this on from Diabolic DVD. Highly recommend Jesse and his his company. So Phantasm, fantastic. The next movie is Rosemary's Baby. This is I thought this was a good 4K transfer. I mean, the movie's iconic. The imagery for this movie, Mia Farrow is very good in this film. The ending to this film, the acting, the older lady, Ruth Gordon, actually won an Oscar for this film, and I love this film. Some people think it's a slow burn. It might be boring, but I love this film. The story arc, from the beginning to where it takes you at the end. Mia does, to her body. It's just phenomenal, man. I love Rosemary's Baby, and like I said, this is done by the 4K transfer is done by Paramount, and it's a good one. I highly recommend it. It's not great. It's not stunning, but it is an all-time classic film, and I think it's a must-own film. Another movie is Hellraiser. The first Hellraiser is... Jeez, man. That gave me nightmares when I was a kid. I already did an unboxing a little bit of this, so I'm not gonna take it all out. But the first Hellraiser, and this 4K transfer by Arrow Video, is just beautiful. All the films, I think, look pretty good. The first film looks the best. Maybe it's because I love the first film, but the 4K transfer looked fantastic. Very crisp, very detailed. I mean, those close-ups on the blood scenes and the gore and everything, the faces, it just look beautiful, man. And this release is just one of my favorites from Arrow Video. I love it, and I think it really captures Hellraiser in itself. Just how demented the hell is, and just how fucked up, man. It's just, it's not for the faint of heart. And just the scenes, the prosthetics, the effects for this film look so good in this film. The 4K transfer, just simply amazing. So definitely get this one. Another film is Friday the 13th. This film was, this 4K transfer is released by Paramount Video. There's another release by Scream Factory. This one I showed in another video right here. The Blu-ray's right here. But, it's Jason. And this one, obviously, it's the origin story, and I'm not gonna spoil the twist or anything if you haven't seen it. If you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you know what the hell the story is and what happens and what the ending is and everything. But it's an iconic movie. The storyline is pretty good. It's a classic slasher, and people kind of complained about the 4K transfer, saying it's a little dark. I don't think it's a little dark at all. I think it just depends on your TV, on what you have. I have a C10 OLED, so I didn't really have any complaints with the quality of the 4K transfer. And the audio, is good as well. This also has the theatrical and uncut version as well. And just last year, if I remember right, there was a steelbook with a slipcover release from Paramount as well. I don't have that one, so I just have this one and the deluxe Scream Factory franchise set. Last but not least is Possession. This release was done by Umbrella, and this uses the same 4K transfer by when it was released by a French company. I'll have it up here, but I had that edition, and the 4K transfer is good. But this is one of my all-time favorite films, Possession. I love this movie. Sam Neill is very good. Isabella, dang man, she is one of the most beautiful women I have ever seen on film, and her acting is just bonkers, but in a good way. And this movie, oh my goodness, man. I was a blind buy when I bought that French 4K, and I'm glad that I watched it for the first time on 4K. And this release by Umbrella is a limited edition. I can't remember how many were made, like 2,500 or 2,000 or something like that. But this movie is just fantastic. I had to put this in here just because it's one of my favorites, and the 4K transfer, it's okay. It's not super great. It's not very vibrant. It's, some would say it's kind of dull. I like the 4K transfer, and the audio is pretty good, but again, this film is simply amazing. It's just so damn wild. And the acting is wild. Isabella, oh man, she's so gorgeous. Her acting, oh my goodness, man. Wild. Love the film. Love this edition by Umbrella. One of my favorites as well in my collection. So what are your favorite horror films on the 4K format? I listed off a bunch in this video, but I'm pretty sure you guys might have some suggestions down in the comments section. So I look forward to reading them. Don't forget to check out my other videos right here. And thank you guys, and have a great day.